Welcome to Giants Sports Talk Live morning edition. A little bit earlier. A command decision was made. We're going to go a little bit earlier.
We'll get up. We'll get up with the Roosters. Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Kidding. Last night, wow, what a game. You were able to witness it firsthand, Glenn. I mean, that was a game of the ages as far as the pitching was concerned.
Yeah.
You had two aces take the mound, and boy, did they not disappoint when it came to the craft of pitching. Both Chris Sale and Blake Snell went out there, went toe-to-toe. It was like a heavyweight boxing match. Man, that must have been something to see live there, Glenn.
You've left me with no material. You stole a heavyweight boxing match. They went toe-to-toe. You stole all the line. I don't know what else I can talk about. However, on Sunday's show, Eric, you said, hey, tomorrow night, I expect, this has got to be a Vegas line with the over-unders about 4. This is going to be the best pitching and lowest scoring game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
You nailed it, my friend.
Yeah, how about that?
Last night on our show, Giants Sports Talk Live, sponsored by Lefties and Signatures for Soldiers. Thank you so much. Last night on the show, some guys were critical about our hitting and, this team can't hit. My God, I was there. Stop with that. Give the credit to not only Chris Sale, but also Snell. These are two pitchers that put on a hell of a performance, Eric. No,
absolutely.
You cannot bring hitting into the conversation this game. We lost the game. 1-0 ball game. Could have went the other way quite easily. It was what it was. I left the ballpark. Wasn't disappointed with the effort. I saw a great pitching matchup. It's one for the ages.
Absolutely. I mean, you saw last year's Cy Young, and you possibly will see this year's Cy Young that faced off against each other. So again, you can't argue the fact that you saw a fantastic baseball game, because remember, baseball game can involve a lot of hitting and it can involve fantastic pitching. You happen to see the fantastic pitching.
I said last night that Snell, he was dealing. He looked like a young Steve Carlton. And you know who Chris Sale reminds me of? Is the big unit.
The big unit. Yeah. How about that? Did you see what his number was too?
Yes.
51.
Tall, lanky. He was dealing last night. I had a lot of fun. I was probably driving you crazy, but thank God you were actually watching the game on NBC Sports Bay Area while I was at the ballpark up in section 321. Eric, you wouldn't believe what's going on. He's like, I'm watching the game. Just leave me alone. I was so into the game and the pitching performance, and there were a few things that I was critical of to you, Eric. About,
sure.
When Conforto pinch hit, and I was like, leave the big bat in the hands of Encarnacion. And I thought Encarnacion has a little more speed, and Conforto had the hamstring. So what's going to happen? Even if Encarnacion is the last batter of the 9th inning, then he's going to be the runner at second base in the 10th. I didn't understand that part of the game, pinch hitting. Some guys still pretty weak in our lineup there. Wisely and Schmidt. Your usual suspects. Bailey was.
I don't know what's going on with him.
With a couple of Ks. It's got to get better tonight, Eric. Let's take a look at what's going on tonight in Major League Baseball. The Giants lost 1-0 last night. We try to bounce back. We have got Kyle Harrison, another youngster trying to bail us out of this with a win. He's 6-5. ERA 4.08 entering the game tonight. Charlie Morton gets the nod. He's a right-handed pitcher. He'll wear number 50 on the scorecard. 6-7, Eric. His ERA is 4.47. I don't think we're going to see a classic pitching performance like last night.
No.
But what do you expect from Kyle Harrison on a 66-degree evening tonight at Oracle Park?
I'm hoping that he has some better command. That's kind of what his issue has been. His command hasn't been quite been there. If he's going to give away those free bases, in other words, if he's giving up a lot of walks, that could come back to haunt him. Granted, Atlanta is not hitting very well. Then again, the only game we've seen him play against the Giants as far as his homestand was against Blake Snell. And I mean, that's hard to really judge whether or not the lineup is really hitting, but they got some boppers in that lineup. You got Ozuna, you got Riley, you got Olsen. So they got some big bats in the lineup. So we'll see if Harrison, if he can minimize those walks, can get some command, maybe we could come out with, we'll see how that works out. Cause Morton, again, he's a 40-year-old still out there pitching. He's doing okay.
Just
But
under 500.
it should go the Giants' way tomorrow, but we'll see. Again, it's the game of baseball. Anything can happen.
Well, I'm hoping they win tonight, Eric. They'll pick up another victory if Kyle Harrison can perform. Right now, they're 61-60 entering the game tonight. 6:45 is the start. Again, they're expecting a beautiful night at the Ball Yard. Sunny skies, 66. Opening pitch. The game will be on NBC Sports Bay Area. And, of course, for those sick and shut in, you want to listen to the game, it'll be on 680 KNBR. And, more importantly, Eric, for a lot of shenanigans and a whole lot of fun, we'll talk about the Giants coming up in Giant Sports Talk Live tonight. We'll be on the air between 9:30 and 10, right after the final pitch of that game. Oftentimes, because I'm a season ticket holder, you have to launch early. I jump on board with all the updates from my visit over to the ballpark. Should be a lot of fun tonight. Why don't we take a look at what else is happening around Major League Baseball tonight, Eric? Going to be a full slate of action, including a couple of, well, you're looking at about 5 or 6 late afternoon games, including Washington in Baltimore tonight.
Yeah, let's take a look. Here we go. All right. As you stated, you got Washington at Baltimore. You're going to have Jake Irvin go against Trevor Rogers. Trevor Rogers was a trade deadline acquisition for the Baltimore Orioles. Jake Irvin, I think, is kind of, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's been the Washington's ace, if I'm not mistaken. So that should be an interesting matchup there. Washington against Baltimore.
Javier Assad, he'll have the big, you ever notice he's got the Harry Carey glasses on there?
Yeah, he's
Some
got
days
the
it looks
glasses.
like he needs them to find home plate. He had been injured for a while. He's back. He's 5-3. And here's a name. I remember I saw his baseball cards a few years ago. This guy seems like he must be an old vet. Matthew Boyd. He's been
around for a while,
hasn't he?
Yeah,
Assad and Boyd today. Progressive Field, Cubs, Cleveland. Cleveland has the much better record at 70-49. Cubs enter the game 59-61. But the Cubs are a team we're keeping an eye on in this postseason chase.
Absolutely. Matthew Boyd, as a matter of fact, he was a Giant. Never saw a game with the Giants. He was traded at the trade deadline. I think that was back in 22, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Was it?
I think it was 2022, maybe 2023. I think it was 2022. They had him. He got, before he could even pitch a game for the Giants, they had traded him. Because I think they signed him in the offseason. He would think he was recovering from it might have been Tommy John. I can't remember. But yeah.
Matthew Boyd, he never pitched for the Philadelphia Phillies. Here's a segue. He didn't pitch there, but the Phillies are playing today, Eric.
Yes, they are. Miami at Philadelphia. Let's see if Philadelphia can get out of their losing ways. They didn't fare well against Arizona. Matter of fact, I believe they got swept, if I'm not mistaken. Miami is throwing out Valente Bellozo. Hey, best I can do. Against Taiwan Walker.
Pardon? Who?
Yeah. Against Taiwan Walker. We'll see. They're going to be in Philadelphia. Philadelphia's got to get their ship straight if they want to have any shot at holding on to the NL East, because you got some teams in the NL East that may try to make a move on them.
What did you say? Oh, they got to get their ship straight.
Ship straight. Yeah, how about that?
I was worried there for a minute. All right.
Yeah, it's early, man.
Wax out of my ears.
You never know.
It's hard to believe at this point of the season, Eric, that you could be talking about a team, the Detroit Tiger Town, with somebody who could be open in discussion for a Cy Young Award. Tarek Skubal, he's 13-4. So the fact he's 13-4 is one thing. He's 13-4 with a crap team, the Detroit Tigers. No offense to the Tigers who may be watching the program. We love you guys, or their fans, but Detroit's hosting Seattle. George Kirby and Tarek Skubal. Skubal he's just been beautiful to watch this year for Detroit. Good one today at Cincinnati. Another late afternoon, early evening game when Hunter Green gets the nod, Eric.
Yeah, you got St. Louis. Again, that's a team that is just ahead. Just ahead. In fact, I think they're tied, but I think they got the winning percentage or something weird. Anyway, St. Louis and the Giants are neck and neck in this wild card race. So they'll be in Cincinnati. You got Eric Fetty again, trade line acquisition. How about that? Going against Hunter Green. Hunter Green is the Cincinnati's ace, if I'm not mistaken. So that should be a good pitching matchup.
Houston and Tampa Bay. UC Kikuchi. Is that a second or third game after being dealt by the Toronto Blue Jays? I'm not sure, but he'll be on the hill for Houston if he shows up. I'm sure he'll get a good rest He'll be at the ballpark pitching for Houston and Tampa Bay. Shane Baz will be pitching for the Rays. Now, here's a familiar face. I'm taking a peek at your line. Our old pal, Ross Stripling's going to pitch today.
Yeah, how about that? Former Giant, Ross Stripling now pitching with the A's. Going to take on the New York Mets. As a matter of fact, he's going to be going against his former teammate, Paul Blackburn, who was traded at the trade deadline. New York Mets were able to pick him up for their push into the postseason. That might be good for the Mets because they're looking to get back in their winning ways. And the Oakland A's is probably a pretty good team to try to get back on track. But then again, who knows? Because last night we thought the New York Yankees and the Chicago White Sox.
Geez, were we wrong?
Oh, boy, that was bad.
I had the binoculars. I'm reading the big score. Well, actually, the big scoreboard is not so big when you're sitting up in section 321, Eric. So I'm looking at the scoreboard, and they're manually changed it, and I'm like, that can't be the score. And boy, it got lopsided in a hurry. You and I thought that was an easy win for the Yankees. That just shows you one game, baseball, anybody can win any given day. And poor Ross Stripling. 2-11 this year.
That's
and
tough.
Blackburn 5-2. Eric, I've always wondered what it's like for people who live around the ballpark there in New York. If you're in the area where the Mets play. Who wants to live in a place called Flushing anyway?
Flushing, yeah. How about that?
Texas, they're in Boston today. It's Jose Arena on the hill for Texas and Cutter Crawford. Love that name, Cutter Crawford.
Yeah, that's cool. That's
He's
a baseball
today
name
for the Red Sox. Texas and Boston really doesn't affect the National League or our wild card chase.
No, not at all. Kansas City at Minnesota. Again, those are two very good teams playing against each other. You got Seth Lugo, who's Kansas City's ace, if I'm not mistaken, versus good old undecided for Minnesota.
LA Dodgers, they are on the road today in Milwaukee as Gavin Stone is on the hill. He'll take on Colin Ray of Milwaukee, and a couple of pitchers pretty evenly matched. Stone is 9-5. Ray is 10-3. Dodgers 70 wins. People have been saying, well, maybe they'll flounder, flopping around like a fish in the water, but I don't think so. Dodgers are too good. They'll win the division. Milwaukee is in the chase at 67-51. Dodgers are favored to win that one. Today in Milwaukee, we're at 76 degrees. Going to be a good day for ball there.
And we got New York.
Talk about it. Hey, you know what happened to us yesterday? You better mention it just for posterity's sake.
Yeah, we got Nestor Cortez versus Jonathan Cannon. We'll see how that fans out because last night the Chicago White Sox put a whooping on the New York guy, if I'm not mistaken, 12-2. Wow. They did not see that one coming. Did not see that one. We'll see how it turns out over there in Chicago.
Canada's team, the Toronto Blue Jays, the only club to suit up above the border up in our north. Blue Jays in LA, down in Anaheim. If they get back, they're boarding the bus a little bit later on, getting back from Disney World. They'll be over in Anaheim to play the Angels. And you know who'll be there to greet them? Not Mickey Mouse. It'll be Kevin Pillar, former Blue Jay, getting a chance to play his old team. And one of our old pals, Kevin Gausman, he goes for Toronto today. Carson Fulmer for the Angels. Another game that, looks lopsided on paper. Let's see how it plays out on ESPN Plus. Arizona's in the chase too, Eric.
Absolutely. That's a team that the Giants are trying to chase. You know, they're at the top of they're tied with the Padres for who's going to take the top wild card currently. We'll see how that plays out. But yeah, Colorado at Arizona. Arizona was able to take that first game against them. They keep winning, man. You got Austin Gomber versus Eduardo Rodriguez. This will be his second start since coming off the injured list. So we'll see how Mr. Rodriguez will fare in Arizona.
I don't want to overuse that word floundering, but a team that is going in the wrong direction lately. Pittsburgh, 56-62. They're in San Diego, who are looking for their 68th win of the year. Last night, San Diego, they came back with a big win to win a 2-1 over Pittsburgh. So the Pirates, the old Buccaneers, they're there fighting it out, but San Diego's just too good. And San Diego looks like a force to be reckoned with in the wild card chase.
They're on fire. There's no doubt about it.
They are indeed. Luis L. Ortiz, I don't know what the L stands for. Lucky, perhaps. He might have to be tonight when he takes on San Diego and the knuckleballer, Michael King.
Oh, yeah, there we go. And here, real quick, let's take a look at the standings just to see where these teams are in the National League, just to give a quick recap here. Again, Arizona Diamondbacks, San Diego Padres, both tied for who's going to take that first spot in the wild card. Atlanta Braves have moved up into the third spot of the wild card. Teams on the outside looking in, you got the New York Mets. They're only one game behind on that third wild card. There's the St. Louis Cardinals. Again, because of that one loss, they're just ahead of the San Francisco Giants. Then you got Giants right there at 2.5 games. Right behind them, you got the Chicago Cubs and the Cincinnati Reds. Pirates, they're starting to fall by the wayside. So it looks like it's going to be from the Reds on up. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams battling out for only 3 positions. So it should be a lot of fun watching baseball these next month and a half to see what will occur.
Eric, I'll be at the game tonight. The question is, can Harrison win tonight? We'll find out. We'll talk about it immediately after the final pitch of the ball game, or whenever I stroll back with a hot dog in hand from Oracle Park. You can catch Eric and I tonight for another Giant Sports Talk Live after the ball game. I'll see you then, Eric.
All right, see you tonight, Glenn.
Have a great day.
See ya.